Right now, the headline numbers look fantastic. The average baby boomer holds a net worth of over $1.6 million. Gen X sits at $1.1 million. Millennials recently crossed $333,000, and Gen Z is seeing their wealth grow faster than anyone else in the market. If you look strictly at those numbers, you see a nation doing better than ever. Yet across all those age groups, individuals are terrified of retirement and stressed about daily expenses. This scatterplot shows exactly how the math tricks us. A small number of incredibly wealthy individuals sit at the very top, dragging the mathematical average completely out of proportion. The median, the cluster representing what a typical person actually experiences, remains stuck near the bottom. Researchers have a name for this gap: phantom wealth. It is a specific accounting illusion where net worth is artificially inflated by equity in homes and strict retirement accounts that people cannot easily access. Relying on a headline net worth is a dangerous trap. To see where the money actually is, we have to run a demographic audit and look underneath the balance sheets of every living generation. We start with the baby boomers. As a generation, they have accumulated an enormous $80 trillion in wealth, holding more than half of all household wealth in the nation. But the $1.6 million average net worth disappears when you look at the median. For boomers aged 65 to 74, the midpoint figure is a much lower $410,000. This bar chart contrasts that reality against what experts say is required. The first column is the $410,000 median. Next to it is a conservative retirement benchmark of $660,000. The final towering column is the $1.26 million that Americans self-report as their ideal retirement goal. To make matters worse, a huge chunk of that median $410,000 is locked inside a house they still live in. The average 401k balance among boomers at the end of 2024 was just $249,300. That small fraction is the only liquid pot available to fund decade of life. Because of that severe lack of liquidity, 9 out of 10 boomers are forced to rely heavily on Social Security to maintain their lifestyle. As of January 2025, that estimated average monthly benefit was just $1,976. The house became the entire financial plan. But a retirement built entirely on illiquid home equity fails the moment you need actual cash flow to pay a grocery bill. Then we have Gen X, the demographic currently between 45 and 60 years old. On paper, their average net worth sits at $1.13 million, but their median retirement savings is a tiny $115,000. They're caught in the sandwich generation problem. Many are simultaneously supporting aging parents and their own children, forcing them to pause retirement contributions or withdraw their savings early. This external pressure has resulted in a $6.69 trillion total debt crisis. Gen X carries the highest average credit card balances and the highest average student loan debt of any generation, and they are less than 15 years away from retirement. When you weigh that $115,000 median savings against record-high credit card debt and a ticking clock, the $1.1 million average becomes a statistical distraction. High paper wealth offers no protection against immediate debt obligations. Millennials are experiencing an entirely different anomaly. In early 2024, data showed that millennials and older Gen Zers had accumulated 25% more wealth than boomers did at the exact same age. But the biggest driver of that sudden statistical spike was real estate. Millennial housing wealth grew by $2.5 trillion between January 2020 and December 2023. This is phantom wealth in a practical sense. It is completely illiquid and comes attached to the highest average mortgage balance of any generation at $320,000. It also deeply fractures the demographic, isolating renters from a market they can no longer afford to enter. Gen Z is watching this happen. They have the highest public fluency when it comes to talking about index funds and compound interest, yet their actual financial literacy rate is the lowest of any generation, sitting at just 38. Across every age group, illiquid asset inflation is being mistaken for financial freedom, leaving thousands vulnerable when they need cash most. To see where you actually stand, you need to step away from the headline numbers and run your own finances through the liquidity stress test. First, calculate how much of your net worth is actually liquid. Measure exactly how much money you can access in 30 days without taking penalties or selling the home you sleep in. Second, look at your runway. If you lost your primary income tomorrow, how long would that liquid cash actually last you? Third, ask yourself, is your wealth growing or is it just inflating? There is a massive difference between actively building real assets and simply having your house go up in value because of a real estate market you don't control. The math proves that a high net worth on paper will not pay your bills. Hit that subscribe button right now and let's start building a reality-based financial strategy together.